Super Mario Galaxy was released on November 1st, 2007 to critical praise, and deservedly so. Super Mario Galaxy had something that was not in the previous Mario games, and that was a story with actual character depth. The specific story here is that Princess Peach is captured by Bowser during the Star Festival, which happens every 100 years. So you then have to use Galactic Mommy Rosalina's spaceship, the Observatory, to reach the ends of space and to save your precious princess. But oh no, Rosalina's spaceship is destroyed, so you beat other levels to get the power stars to slowly rebuild the ship to finally take down Bowser, and that is it. Yeah, it's a classic Mario game, but this game's true story is all optional and is found in a place you won't expect: Rosalina's storybook. When entering the library, you can see Rosalina reading stories to the Lumas, and when you approach her, she will offer you to read you a story from her storybook, with chapters becoming available as you progress through the game. And surprisingly, this story is heartbreaking and touching for Rosalina's character. It all starts with a small girl meeting a Luma in an abandoned spaceship who is waiting for its mother. After waiting a long time, they decide to search for its mother themselves, taking to the stars. After finding a comet, they decide to rest as they fail to find Luma's mother. But one night, the girl is dreaming about her own mother. The girl wakes from this dream crying that she'll never be able to see her mother again. And the Luma cries too, with the girl comforting the Luma, promising to take care of the Luma to become its new mother. One day, another Luma appears and starts calling this little girl Mama, for more and more Lumas to eventually start showing up and doing the same, and with the girl promising to take care of all of them. She later looks into the stars and looks through her father's telescope to see her old planet. She goes through her memories of being with her family and suddenly breaks down crying, wishing to go home to her brother and mother, now resting under the tree on the hill. The Lumas help comfort her, together being the mother figure the little girl no longer has. With the girl and Lumas living together, they form a new family and fly by her home planet every 100 years. If you haven't noticed, this story isn't about some random girl. It's about Rosalina, with her home planet being Mario's home planet. Notice how she says my story is finished, not the story. This is a wonderful story about loss and grief and how we persevere through it. Rosalina lost her mother and family and took their teachings to help the little Lumas not be motherless, but to be loved and cared for so they don't have to go through the same pain. But the story portrays how even someone as highly regarded and strong and caring and loving as a mother can break down from that pressure, giving importance to not just having a mother, but having a family to take care for one another in times of need. Rosalina's storybook portrays this beautifully and all within less than 10 minutes. The end of her storybook is the beginning of Mario's journey, with the beginning of another star festival, another visit from Rosalina to her home planet. But when Mario boards the observatory, it is no longer functioning, making the story now tied to you, the player. As you are slowly repairing the observatory, Rosalina is helping Mario save his princess, and the player is helping Rosalina to be able to see her mother one more time. Oh, what a beautiful story. Maybe it really is the best. Objection! What does story have to do with a Mario game? It's the gameplay that counts. So tell me, what makes Super Mario Galaxy the best Mario game to actually play? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Super Mario Galaxy completely changed the 3D Mario formula, now focusing on a set world structure rather than the open world design we had previously. And in some ways that may be a bad thing, but in others, it actually improves on the faults of the previous games without being too big of a deviation from the previous entries. Within these levels, you have to get to the Power Star, much like in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, but how you get there is quite different. There is now a set path for you to follow and a level specifically designed for you to get to that goal, whereas in the other games you would be placed in an open world that changes ever so slightly for your specific star or shine. Mario also has a new power to help him get through the level, this being the spin attack that can knock enemies back or give an extra little boost during a jump. But that's not enough, so Nintendo gave us power-ups. Power-ups in this game consist of the Bee Mushroom, which turns Mario into a bee to hover around and stick to honey, a Boo Mushroom, which turns Mario into Ghost to go through walls and float. There's even a spring power-up to make Mario reach greater heights and die a lot. A fire flower to throw fire, an ice flower to throw ice and to freeze and skate on water beneath you, your classic invincibility star, and a power-up that makes you fly. Mario has all of these things to help him save the princess, but in the end, you are most likely going to be sticking with Mario's signature trait of stomping on your foes. This action may be made a bit harder though due to the gravitational pull from each planet, changing gravity and pulling you in different directions, which is so cool because it lets you naturally shift between planets without having a loading screen or using a launch star. Speaking of launch stars, these basically basically launch you across space to continue the level, and you can collect star bits along the way. One of the game's currencies. Coins are used to heal you for one of your 3 lives, with a temporary upgrade to 6 total lives with a mushroom. Star bits are also used in the game as a currency to feed hungry Lumas, netting you more planets to go to and more power stars to get. In total, Super Mario Galaxy has a total of 120 stars, if you only play as Mario. But funny haha, you finally beat the game and 100% it like you always wanted to, and are satisfied with what you have accomplished, all until you see this message.
Super Luigi Galaxy!
Yeah, you now have to replay the entire game as Luigi, who has a higher jump and is faster but a bit harder to control. His playthrough also has the same 120 stars, and then you get an extra star once you 100% the game as both characters, making a grand total of 241 power stars. That is no small number, but at least it is not as annoying as getting all of the blues coins in Super Mario Sunshine, or even getting all 999 moons in Odyssey. The only reason I was able to achieve all 241 power stars was because of how fun Super Mario Galaxy was, with all of its gameplay combined into one big experience to enjoy and look at. Super Mario Galaxy's graphics are gorgeous for a Wii game. This game is obviously dated, but it holds up surprisingly well when compared to Odyssey, especially when it is upscaled to 1080p and is maintaining that solid 60 FPS on Switch. Hell, I may even say that Super Mario Galaxy could pass as a modern day title with how good it now looks. This is just one of the reasons why the 3D All-Stars collection is the best 3D Mario game. It makes an already wonderful game look even better, but it also can highlight some of its faults. Reflections are still rendered using the lower quality versions of characters, which was not exactly noticeable on the Wii's 480p output, but in its full 1080p glory, it can be quite scary. If you look at a reflection, the higher resolution now shows everything. Look at him. Look at his eyes, his empty, lifeless eyes, staring deep into your soul. Not everything is perfect, as graphical glitches can occur, albeit I haven't had any in my experience. Overall, this is one of the best looking Mario games, with its visual style and its ability to look so good nearly 16 years later. An amount of quality that is also seen in the game's music. The music in this game is to die for. With a wonderful soundtrack, Super Mario Galaxy takes the cake for having the best soundtrack in any Mario game, containing tracks such as Gusty Gardens, Boy Base Galaxy, Battle Rock Galaxy, and oh, did I mention the main observatory theme? But one thing you may not have noticed is that all of these pieces have one thing in common. They are all made by a symphony orchestra. Super Mario Galaxy was the first Mario game to have its music be made by a symphony orchestra, and they did not falter. A symphony orchestra has a few wind instruments, those being the flute, oboe, clarinet, trombone, bassoon, and tuba. It is an orchestra though, so of course you have your string instruments, those being harp, violin, viola, cello, and double bass. Other instruments also include the drums, and of course their choir, responsible for one of the most epic boss themes. Just to say, there may be a few instruments that I did not find that were being used. If so, let me know. But all of these instruments being in a live orchestra just heighten how epic this game can feel. The game's audio does not end at just sounding really good, but it also reflects the player's actions as they are playing. For example, when the game starts to get intense, the music will start to crescendo, or get louder, in an effect to make the game feel more epic. Or how about during the final fight with Bowser, where whenever it's Mario's turn to attack, the high-toned trumpets and male voices pitch in to give the music a more dramatic effect, but also change the music from an uneasy tone to one where it now feels that the fate of the world is in your hands, giving you that control to put a stop to Bowser's plan. Super Mario Galaxy executes every aspect of its audio perfectly, from its sound effects to its music and to its interactivity with the player. Every inch of this game's audio design is masterful. But it's not just every inch of its audio that is masterful, it's the game as a whole. When combined and played as one, Super Mario Galaxy is a near perfect Mario game that truly encapsulates what a 3D Mario game is supposed to be. It is a ton of fun, with a surprisingly rich story, containing a superb soundtrack, and is able to make saving Princess Peach so epic even if it's the gazillionth time. Super Mario Galaxy did not revolutionize the Super Mario franchise, but perfected what was already so good, ultimately making Super Mario Galaxy the best 3D Mario game to date, and making 3D All-Stars the best version of it.
Take that! Objection!
There are many convincing arguments that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is even better. There's a 2?